Right now, if you're hungry, you can walk into your kitchen and turn on the stove. It's fast, it's easy, but 1.5 million years ago, that was only a dream. Early humans like Homo erectus first learned to use fire from nature, lightning strikes, volcanoes, or wildfires. They used fire to stay warm and scare away dangerous animals, but they still didn't know how to make fire themselves. Imagine waiting for a natural disaster just to survive the cold. Older studies suggested that around 400,000 years ago, humans could already use fire to cook food and keep it burning for long periods of time, but they still didn't know how to actually create fire. They still had to borrow it from nature. But recently, a new discovery may have changed human history. The original research video came from the British Museum. Huge respect to their team for creating such an amazing documentary. At an old clay pit in Barnum, Suffolk, UK, scientists found something incredible. Long ago, this place was a watering hole where large animals like elephants and lions came to drink. The clay preserved bones, shells, and pollen extremely well, helping scientists study what the environment looked like 400,000 years ago. Then they found what looked like an ancient fireplace. Under layers of dark soil, researchers discovered red clay that had been heated by fire. Everything was still almost perfectly preserved after 400,000 years, giving scientists a rare chance to study whether the fire came from nature. More evidence was later brought to the British Museum in London. To prove humans were already making fire 400,000 years ago, scientists focused on three major clues. Clue number 1, burned red clay. Scientists confirmed the red clay had stayed in its original position for hundreds of thousands of years. It wasn't washed there by floods or moved from somewhere else. Neanderthal, an extinct archaic human species and the closest relatives of modern humans, once inhabited Europe, Western Asia, and Central Asia. This suggests Neanderthals may have lived there and kept fires burning day after day. Clue number 2, heat-damaged stone. Axes. Researchers found 8 stone hand axes made by humans at the site. 4 of them showed cracks and color changes caused by intense heat. If the fire had come from lightning or a random wildfire, why were human tools sitting right inside it? Honestly, I can picture a group of Neanderthals hunting, cooking BBQ, and accidentally leaving their weapons too close to the fire. Clue number 3, pyrite spark stones. The biggest clue was 2 pieces of pyrite, a mineral used to create sparks. When sparks from pyrite hit dry grass or moss, they can start a fire, similar to how a lighter works today. At first, scientists thought maybe the pyrite naturally existed in the area. But after studying 121,000 rock samples nearby, they discovered something important. Pyrite does not naturally exist there. That means humans carried it there themselves to make fire. This was no longer just keeping a fire alive. This was technology. Humans were making fire whenever they wanted. Neanderthals may have traveled to Barnum and accidentally left us evidence of one of the biggest breakthroughs in human history. To make sure the fire was really human-made and not caused by nature, scientists at the University of Liverpool did more research. Researcher Sally Hoare carefully studied the burned clay. Magnetic testing, physical evidence. Clay naturally contains iron minerals. Normally, the atoms inside are randomly arranged, but when clay is heated to very high temperatures, those atoms temporarily line up with Earth's magnetic field. Once the clay cools, they stay locked in that position forever. Hoare recreated this in a lab. She collected fresh clay from nearby areas and heated it multiple times. One burn to copy a natural wildfire, then 4, 12, and 24 repeated burns to copy humans using the same fire spot again and again. The result was shocking. The repeatedly heated clay matched the ancient burned clay from Barnum almost perfectly. Nature doesn't strike the exact same tiny spot with lightning 24 times. That's when the evidence started becoming hard to ignore. Chemical evidence. Hydrocarbons. Scientists also studied chemicals called hydrocarbons, which are created when things burn. Low-ring hydrocarbons come from fast fires like grass fires or wildfires. Large ring hydrocarbons come from hot fires burning continuously in one place for a long time. Exactly what happens in a human fireplace. When scientists tested the soil around the area, everything looked normal. Except for the pile of red clay there, the large ring hydrocarbons were extremely high. The conclusion became clear. This fire was created and maintained by humans. What makes this even more interesting is that modern Homo sapiens still had not taken over Earth yet. Many things we usually connect with modern humans may have actually started with older human species like Neanderthals. For years, Neanderthals were described as dumb, violent cavemen eventually replaced by modern humans. But modern archaeology is changing that image completely. Northern Europe back then was cold, wet, and dangerous. No cities, no lights. At night, the world was almost completely dark except for the sound of wind, predators, and massive cave lions hunting nearby. You didn't simply have fire, you needed to make fire. For us today, turning on a stove takes seconds. For Neanderthals, one small spark could decide whether an entire tribe lived or died. Fire changed humans physically and mentally. In the famous book Catching Fire, How Cooking Made Us Human, 2009, Richard Wrangham argued that cooking helped human brains evolve. Cooked food became softer, easier to digest, and gave humans more energy. Over time, our stomachs became smaller while our brains became larger. Before fire, humans mostly slept when night came because darkness was too dangerous. Fire changed everything. It extended the human day. It created warmth, safety, stories, music, and conversation. And around those ancient fires, humanity slowly became what it is today. The discovery truly changed modern people's perception of prehistoric humans. No matter the circumstances, humans always find their own way forward. Let's look forward to many more new discoveries. See you next time. Please support me with a subscribe and a like to motivate me to keep making videos. Leave a comment so we can chat together.